Now we're going to talk about amortization. So this is when you buy a house and you want to figure out what your payments are going to be for every payment of a loan. So how you're going to amortize your loan throughout the entire loan process, throughout the entire, sorry, I was slipping my mic around, throughout the entire life of the loan. Okay. And so, and this also takes into account if you want to pay off a loan early. So, how that affects the loan. And so, now the other thing is for this material, we're going to have many examples. Okay. And it's just to help break this material down. And so the main formula for this material is going to be, the main formula will be the compound interest formula. Okay? I'm sorry, not the compound interest formula, the present value formula. And again, that's going to be the payment, which is one value, times 1 minus 1 plus r over m to the negative mt all over r over m. Now, when you enter this, you're going to enter it just like I have in the calculator. Okay? And so the present value, this is all one value. All right? And the payment is all one value. Okay? So that's going to be one of the big things we're going to do. The next big thing we're going to do is we're going to do what's called an amortization schedule. And this is how you plan out your loan for the entire loan. And so, and I've seen it done two different ways. One is where you have your periods in the first column, your payment in the second column, the interest in the third column, your principal in the fourth column, and your balance. You can switch the payment and the interest. And I think in some of the questions in WebAssign they're switched, in some of the questions they're this way. These, how they're found, how I have the formulas here, are always the same. So the payment is always, you're solving the PV equation for PMT. The interest is always taking the balance and multiplying it by your interest rate over M. The principal is always the payment minus the interest. The balance is always the previous balance minus the principal. Now, we're going to do one amortization table in the examples. Okay, the next formula that we're going to talk about is the unpaid balance formula. And so this is, say you want to pay off a loan early, then this is where that unpaid balance comes in. And so notice that it is the present value formula, except for this exponent is different. Okay, and all that's different is N is still your MT, but K is what we call PM, where P is the last payment, is the last time before your payment. Sorry. So PM, I'm really tired. PM is where you stop the payments. This is where you stop payments. Okay? So PM is where you stop the payment. All right? Now, I use, in my notation, is this is mine. UB is nobody's notation. Everybody calls this unpaid balance. But I got tired of writing unpaid balance, so I just started calling it UB. Okay? Just because I was plain and simple tired of writing unpaid balance every time. So let's get to the examples. And I have in my notes where I'm going to stop the videos to switch to new videos because it's so many examples. Okay? And I've picked a lot of examples because there's a lot of homework. Now, let me say this, that the videos cover about 80% of the homework, about 30% of the homework questions. Okay? So, make sure that you're watching the videos because they'll go walk you through it. So the first question is, a recent graduate pays student loans, okay, and their loan amount, and so this is how much their student loans are, so that's their present value, is $15,000. Their interest rate is 0.046, compounded quarterly for 6 years. And what is their payment? So if I take the present value formula, okay, and I want to find what the payment is, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of that. So I'm going to get the present value times R over M divided by 1 minus 1 plus R over M to the negative MT. Now, to enter that into the calculator, all I need to do is put an extra set of parentheses around this numerator, and that's going to equal my payment. And that's the only difference of how I need to enter that into the calculator. Now, if I plug in all my values, I get that the payment equals 1,500 times 0.046 divided by 4. Put brackets around that, divided by parentheses 1 minus, yikes, scribble out, minus, actually I can undo, can't I? Parentheses 1 plus 0.046 divided by 4 to the negative 6 times 4. And that payment comes out to be $718 and 776,819. And this is just like what we did in the present value section. I'm not doing anything new. Okay? Now, homeowner wants to remodel their kitchen. Okay? They want to make a payment of $400 per month, so M equals 12 for 4 years at 9% compounded monthly. How much can the homeowner borrow if they want to do that to stay within budget? So their present value is going to be, again, make sure that you write the formula to get credit. Plus R over M to get partial credit. MT all over R over M equals 400, 1 minus 1 plus 0.09 divided by 12 to the negative 12 times 4 all over 0.09 divided by 12. And so my present value is going to be 16073.91275. Okay, again, it's kind of a straightforward present value question. Okay, so we're leading up to some harder questions. So far, we haven't done anything that wasn't in a present value section. So when Maria bought a car 2.5 years ago, so time is 2.5 years ago. So our present value is $1,100 for her loan amount. So her TM was 48 at R equals 0.066 monthly. Her payment is $261.37. Okay. But she'd like to pay it off early. How much will she owe after? So this is going to be actually her P. Okay. So 2.5, we need to convert that to an improper fraction. So that's going to be 2 times 2 plus 1 all over our denominator. So that gives us 5/2 years. Now to find our PM, we multiply that 5/2 times 12. So that's 12 over 1. So the 2 goes into there. So that's 30 periods. That's 30 compoundings. Okay. So now to find our unpaid balance, so that's going to be our payment times 1 minus 1 plus R over M to the negative TM minus PM all over R over M. Okay, so our unpaid balance is going to be $261.37 times 1 minus 1 plus 0.066 divided by 12 to the negative. Now, if you want to figure out what TM minus PM is, you can do that. So that would be 48 minus 30, so that's 18. Or you can leave this as 48 minus 30. Either way, your calculator can handle it if you have a TI-80. Okay, so when you put all of this into your TI-80, what you get for your unpaid balance is $4,467.600767. Well, that's actually more than cents, but you can round. Okay? Now, I'm going to stop with the examples now, and then I'll come back and I'll add to the next examples. So if you have any questions over these 3 examples, please email me and ask. All right? Thanks.